A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Thursday edition of the show. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, today, Africa's representative, Ghana, scored Africa's first goal in the tournament, but it wasn't enough to get a win. We'll talk about that. All five of Africa's teams have played, and none of them has been able to secure victory in their first game at the Mundial. The 2022 FIFA World Cup will get us talking tonight. Will form a major part of what we're going to be looking at on the show tonight. As usual, I don't do this alone. My partner, Austin Akpan, will join in at some point, and we will take you on this ride together. And hopefully, we will touch up on things happening on the domestic scene. We will also talk about Cristiano Ronaldo. Of course, he has set a new record. What is the record? You need to sit back and relax. We'll give that to you as we go on. We'll focus on the teams in the competition, the games yet to be played. How are the teams preparing? What's the news about Harry Kane? There were fears that he might not be able to play the next game for the Three Lions, but of course, Gareth Southgate has informed the whole football world that Harry Kane is fit and ready to play the Three Lions next game. So that's the outlook of the show tonight. Let's set the ball rolling. Let's start from home tonight. Let's talk about the National Sports Festival. And of course, we're talking about the National Sports Festival. We have news, and we can confirm that the competition will go on as planned. Why am I saying this? The Delta State Sports Commission has disclosed that the National Sports Festival, due to begin on the 30th of this month, will still go on as planned, dispelling rumors and everything that has been circulating widely about probably a postponement or cancellation, but that it's not going to happen. The game will go ahead as planned. There's no postponement. Chairman, Delta State Sports Commission, and the Chairman, Athletics Federation of Nigeria, Mr. Tonobok Okowa, in a press briefing at the Stephen Keshi Stadium in Asaba, insist that the opening and closing dates for the games are sacrosanct, as the athletes are scheduled to arrive from the 28th of November, while the opening ceremony is to hold on the 30th of this month. According to Okawa, all facilities needed for the games are ready, except for the cleaning of the environment, which will take about 2 days, 2 to 3 days. The Touch of Unity is expected to touch down Delta State on the 29th of November for onward patrol around the 25 local government areas of the state. Let's quickly listen to the chairman, Delta State Sports Commission, who also doubles as the chairman of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, Mr. Tonobok Okowa. Tell us all of this, and we'll come back for more on Sports Tonight.
The Sports Festival is going to hold as agreed. This is because of the rumor that has been going out there, that has been going on. People saying that the Sports Festival is about to be postponed. There's no plan to postpone the Sports Festival. The arrival date is still the 28th of November, and the opening ceremony still remains the 30th of November. We are going to close the Sports Festival on the 10th of December. So these dates are not tentative. They are sacrosanct. It remains and will not be moved. Our facilities are all ready at the moment. We are doing cleanup. Of course, if you go out there, you know that in the next 2-3 days, everything will be in perfect shape. So we are not going to, I'm still here telling you that we are not going to move or postpone the date. The date remains as planned. We are going to receive the torch, the festival torch, on the 28th, and we have planned to move them around the 25 local governments. And on the 29th, we want to hoist the state's flag and the Federal Capital Territory also. So we will be inviting you, let you know the time that we're going to do this, so that everybody or all of you will be present. And if we are going to do that, of course, that goes to prove that there will be no plan, or there is no plan to postpone the festival. I know that the Delta athletes are in camp, so we are using our indoor sports hall, the existing one. They are training there. That is the only people that you see coming around here, apart from some workers. We have stopped our workers from coming to work, except some key officials.
All right, Chairman of the Delta Sports Commission, Tonobak Okowa, clearing the air and, dispelling all rumors widely circulating about the postponement of the National Sports Festival. And according to him, everything is still going on according to plan. The opening and closing ceremony are scheduled to hold as at when it was originally planned to be held. And all the facilities are ready, apart from probably cleaning the environment. So he has cleared the air and speaking in his own words right there, letting us know that the eagerly anticipated National Sports Festival will go on as planned. And of course, it's part of the fact that we're having the World Cup at this moment, preparations still going on behind the scenes to ensure that we have a National Sports Festival that surpasses the one that was held last time out in those states. So all the best to the organizers and, of course, the athletes who intend to compete. Of course, our good wishes to all of them. Let's move on the show. Tonight, let's talk about club football. Club football will get us talking. Let's talk about a preseason tournament that is scheduled to hold very soon in Lagos. The preseason tournament will involve 4 of the traditional teams, big clubs on the domestic scene in Nigeria. And of course, it will hold in Lagos. Will an unprecedented winner, this unprecedented preseason tournament, the winner is going to go home with 100 million naira. 100 million naira. I repeat it again, 100 million naira, the prize money that is at stake. Which teams will be competing in this invitational tournament? The invitational tournament will feature former African champions, league winners, Eimba International, 2 former African Cup winners, that's Rangers International and Shooting Stars Sports Club, popularly known as 3SC, and also newly crowned NLL champions, NLL Super 4 champions, Bendel Insurance. The big money tournament will also see each of the 4 invited clubs receiving a 10 million naira appearance fee in the tournament, which holds from December the 1st to 4th at the Mobilogy Sports Complex in Lagos. Head of operations of the Interim Management Committee, that's the IMC, Davidson Uwumi, explained that the tournament is a dress rehearsal for the 2022-2023 NPFL season. Of course, there are also reports circulating as to when the league will start. But this one is a dress rehearsal, and I dare say it's a good one for Nigerian football to be able to see the traditional teams. Of course, some of us were able to see these teams, and of course, to bring the glory days back, a competition that will have the Aba Elephants, talking about Eimba, talk about Rangers International of Enugu, talk about Upshooting, 3SC, and also Bendel Insurance. It doesn't get better than that, and for the winners to be going on with 100 million naira, that's also very special. Appearance fee, 10 million. That's what we're talking about. Of course, when we have things like this, you can trust that, of course, we'll see top quality football. We'll also see attention begin to go back to domestic football, and hopefully we will be able to reap the benefits of all of that. We'll get back to that story at some point, but very interesting times ahead in Nigerian football. All right, let's move on now and also talk about domestic football on the domestic scene. And so let's talk about, I referenced Bendel Insurance earlier. I talked about Bendel Insurance. The Edo State Governor, Godwin Obaseki, has maintained that football development in Nigeria requires partnership with the private sector to avoid future developments. Of course, Governor Obaseki gave this opinion after receiving the Nigerian National League trophy won by Bendel Insurance at the Festival Hall of the Government House in Benin City, the Edo State capital. On his part, the Deputy Governor of Edo State, Mr. Philip Shaibu, says the Edo Arsenal is eyeing continental football next season as the team has already resumed training ahead of the new Premier League season. So you can see pictures on your screen. Jubilant team, of course, winning that trophy, and of course being officially received by the governor and also the deputy governor, who happens to be a member of this team as well. So Bendel Insurance, the Edo Arsenal, as they love to call themselves, supported by the Edo State government, and hopefully this will continue. Let's quickly listen to the governor, of course, bear his mind on how football can develop in Nigeria, and also congratulate his beloved Bendel Insurance.
This is your boys, Obaseki boys. They are back to MPFL, and they've started training already. We have new players that have joined. Screening is still ongoing for us to be formidable. We want to avoid what happened the last time, where we got to MPFL and we got a shocker, maybe because it took like 12 years to go to MPFL. So we didn't understand how it was. As we got there, they pipped us and we came back. But this time, immediately after we won the ticket we qualified to MPFL, we started work immediately. So now we are in MPFL. The implication is that we want to target continental. So we don't want them also to get to win continental, and that will be the first time they are leaving the shore of Nigeria to play international matches. So we have already started exposing them to both national and international matches. So they'll be in Badagry, and after this meet with you, they're actually returning back to camp.
For us to sustain what we're doing and where we want to go to, we cannot continue to rely on government. Our goal is to show you, to present you to the world, show how good you are, so that businesses, corporates now begin to invest in you and in Bendel Insurance. That means we must drive more sponsorships. And we have plans to do so, but you also have to help by making sure that you retain your position in the league and aspire to become, the #1 club in the league.
All right, welcome back. Of course, you listen to the Deputy Governor, Philip Shaibu, Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, and also followed by the Governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki. Both, of course, speaking in the aftermath of the Edo Arsenal winning the NNL trophy, and of course, there are plans to make the team better. I mean, promote the team, present them just like the governor said, so that people can see that there is really quality in the domestic league. And also, the deputy governor revealed that they are already training. He has set very high standards for the Edo Arsenal. He's already saying, look, next year we want to see how we can do what we can to qualify for qualify for the continent, get to play in the continent. So that's the standard they've set. Hopefully, they will be able to meet it. But for the moment, they are enjoying the moment, coming to the top flight and also winning the NNL trophy. All right, so that's it. Hopefully, it will be good times ahead for teams on the domestic scene, looking at what is happening with the Invitational tournament and also what is happening with the Benin Arsenal. All right, my partner, Austin Okona Akpan, is ready now. Let's just go. Let me bring it in to the show. Better than late than never. Austin, greetings to you. It's good to take this ride together again.
Spotty greetings, yeah. It's good to be on the show. Shout out to everyone joining us from different parts of the world. Good news coming for Bendel Insurance. Yeah, remember, they got so close to making it to the Nigeria Professional Football League in the last season, but they were stopped by Shooting Stars in their group. So for Bendel Insurance, they will relish this opportunity to compete top flight league football in Nigeria. And imagine NNL champions is a testament of the sort of attention that the state government has given to Bendel Insurance, not just Bendel Insurance, but also Edo Queens. And I think it's worthy of emulation, particularly the efforts of Philip Shaibul in ensuring that Edo State is remembered for sports development in Nigeria. Remember, I think they got kit sponsorship. They also have some grants here and there. So it means if we've got more state teams doing the things that Bendel Insurance, that Edo State government is doing for Bendel Insurance, it will be good for league football development in Nigeria. We've not heard about our players' welfare being an issue. We know that they give bonuses for winning and particularly going away and getting the points. So Edo State government, they deserve our kudos tonight. So let's see what Bendel Insurance can do when they come to the NPFL.
All right, I also want to get your reaction to, of course, what the Delta State Sports Commission boss just said, calming the nerves and dispelling all rumors. The National Sports Festival will go ahead as that planned. And so no disruption of any kind, no postponement of any kind.
I was hoping not to talk about that one here because we'll be talking about it, I think, in the last 3 weeks, trying to see how ready Delta State is to host the National Sports Festival. That's all Delta can do, give us those assurances and reassure people that the National Sports Festival will take place. I don't want us to have a National Sports Festival that is sketchy, that one that is done hurriedly, or one that, well, let's just do it because we have to do it. I think now we should be doing things right in Nigeria, particularly the National Sports Festival that's come with so much prestige and reputation, and if we keep seeing buildings such as this when we're counting down to the 28th of November, then Delta State government needs to do more explanation, because I've said it over and over again that infrastructure development is still that big elephant in the room when talking about sports development in Nigeria. So I was hoping that by now would have gone beyond seeing, an uncompleted building or talking about cranes falling, or you look at, the stadium environment and you're seeing building materials on the floor. We're not seeing the tartan tracks ready. You're not showing us the sparkling gymnasium. We're not seeing the swimming pools. Yes, I know they have all of those facilities on ground, but at this stage, we should be testing. So we'll take all the assurances that they can give, but I expected more from Delta State, to be sincere.
All right. I agree with you on that as well. Also, we need to go on a break. And when we return from that break, there's much to talk about. The World Cup is in the air. Nigeria is not there, but the World Cup is going on. Like before. Let's go on a break. When we return from that break, still so much for you on Sports Tonight. Join us again. All right, welcome back. We've been talking about things happening on the domestic scene. We'll be able to clear the air about the National Sports Festival. We've been able to talk about a prestigious invitational tournament that will be held in Lagos. And also, we've followed up with the activities of Bendel Insurance and their plans for the next season. And of course, I'm not here alone. My colleague is with me, Austin Okon Akpan. And Austin, it's time to talk about the World Cup. and hopefully, Lofty-Wala will join us later as we talk about the African teams. Let's focus on the African team. But first, let's start with the results. Let's look at today's results and the game currently going on. Not as easy as Brazil thought it was going to be because the Serbians are really putting in a good shift. So let's see if we can look at Thursday's results and we'll look at it and look at the game that is currently going on. Thursday's results will be very interesting to look at. I'm hoping it's going to come up on the screen shortly. All right, but let me just quickly read from here. Switzerland and Cameroon. That will make an interesting talking point. Brel and Bolo scored and he didn't celebrate. People were wondering why, but of course he's of Cameroonian descent, so probably explains why he didn't celebrate. Uruguay and South Korea ended goalless. Portugal and Ghana, Cristiano Ronaldo setting a new record. Then, of course, the game currently going on, Brazil and Serbia. Let me allow Austin, who probably monitored everything, knows all the story behind it. Where do we start from? Let's start from Switzerland, Cameroon. Let's start there. Cameroon, Indomitable Lions, industrious in the first half. Somehow in the second half, they let it go. And the Swiss, they nipped it. And at the end of the day, it's goals that give you victory.
That's what it is. I mean, and in football, when you create chances, you must, I repeat, you must take those chances. The way Cameroon lost that game against Switzerland is so painful because they had no business to lose that match. I mean, they were dominant in first half. In fact, the major highlight from the first half all belonged to Cameroon. You know, Toko Ekambi got about 2 clear chances to score. He missed it. Choupo-Moting also had a chance to score. He missed it. And then Cameroon, I thought they were going to come into the second half, sustain the momentum from first half, and right away, Brill and Mbolo scored the goal. And Mbolo scored the goal for Switzerland. He was born in Yaoundé, Cameroon. His parents still live in Cameroon. And so he couldn't even celebrate right after the match. He even went into the Cameroonian camp, the dressing room, and was, showing love to the Indomitable Lions. That's what football is all about. The game is fair play, and it's just a clear testament that Africa is so blessed with talent. But when Cameroon go back and look at the stats, they will beat themselves. They will read those missed chances. The ball possession, as at first half, Cameroon was bossing the game. But because they allowed Switzerland to come back in the second, the ball possession was 51% to Switzerland and 49% to Cameroon. When you see shots on target, Cameroon had 4 shots on target, Switzerland had 3. And Switzerland went on to score one of those major chances that Brill got. Take a look at the goalkeeper saves. Goalkeeper Sommer made 4 clear saves, while Onana was only forced to make 2 saves. With this start, you could tell that the game was for Cameroon to take, but somehow they have themselves to blame, because the least they could have done for this game was to come out with a draw. So they need to go back now and find a way that they can get back into this one because, it gets tougher now because of this result. All right.
So interesting. I talked about the results earlier. So let's just see for the sake of our viewers who probably missed the game, so that's it on your screen. Austin just gave you the highlights of that game, so I need not say anything. It was a game Cameroon had no business losing, but they lost it anyway. So a lone goal, they lost that. Uruguay, South Korea ended goalless. Portugal and Ghana, just another painful result. Cristiano Ronaldo setting a record. Is the first man to score in 5 consecutive. First man to score in 5 World Cups. Let's even leave out the consecutive part. And then, of course, the game currently going on, Brazil and Serbia. All right, so that's the result. So let me just quickly go back to Austin. Cristiano Ronaldo able to put all the things that is happening, put it behind him, and he set that record. It's going to be hard for us to see somebody who's going to do that. I mean, he is the definition of longevity. 5 World Cups, and he has scored in all of 5.
Wow, Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, I keep saying no matter what this situation at Manchester United does to see Ronaldo, it will not take away his GOAT status. You know, he said it that he's got one mission at this World Cup, and it's to make it a memorable one for himself, you know, because this can arguably be the last World Cup that he's going to compete in. And he knew he had records. This man, all his footballing career in 37 years has just been breaking records. He loves breaking records, you know. But I don't want to take anything out of Cristiano Ronaldo's performance today, but video assistant referee, why didn't he check this penalty call again? That's what we're talking about. Why would try to accept the video assistant referee? Something comes up that makes us question it, because I thought it was soft. I thought it was a 50-50 challenge, but yes, there was a bit of contact, but the VAR should have just checked to clear doubts. It made it look like they just wanted Cristiano Ronaldo to get our opportunity to break records, you know, and these are some of the things we want to take out of football analysis. We want it to be pure. This guy, no doubt, is among the greatest of all time when we talk about football legends, and he's top class, he's top quality, but that VAR call should have been, you know, confirmed so that it just clears doubts. Shout out to Cristiano Ronaldo. That's a massive record. 5 different World Cups, he has scored goals. And Ghana, to an extent, I thought they respected Portugal too much, particularly in the first half. And if you check, when we came back in the second half, those mistakes started materializing. It manifested so bad in their defending. And that's why they lost it 3-2, you know. And then again, to an extent, they were unlucky because if they'd gotten that last chance, you know, when goalkeeper Costa was caught unaware, it could have just ended 3-3. So shout out to Ghana. At least an African team has scored goals at the World Cup. You know, I was saying, what's going on? We're not winning. We should at least score goals. And Ghana gave us 2 goals today. So a good one. Let's see how they pick themselves back up in their second match.
All right. No disrespect to Uruguay and South Korea, but nothing much to talk about. Goalless.
I know. I mean, but it was a good game of football, and it works well for Ghana now, because if the bookmakers said Ghana was going to lose to Portugal, at least it's just 1 point that separates them and Uruguay. So they need to win their next match. But I thought South Korea, you know, that's what we always say from them at the World Cup. If they're not beating you, they try so much not to lose. You know, and I thought Uruguay also didn't take their legs off the brake pedal to, you know, show the attacking prowess that they have. So football just needed to share the spoils, and we got just that. Yeah, so for me, in this group now is to see what Ghana can do in their next match, Yemi.
All right, Austin, let's bring in, so that we can have a robust conversation, let's bring in someone to give us another perspective, especially for the African teams. We've seen 5 of them now, and a lot of us are beginning to dread. There was a World Cup that all the teams that represented Africa didn't even get out of the first round, and I'm hoping this will not be the case. So let's see if we can get that done. Let's see if Tunisian, France-based journalist Lofty Wada will be able to join us as we have this conversation. Let's see if we can get. Let's see if we can get it. But if okay, all right. Let's see. Greetings, Lofty. Thanks for joining us on the show tonight.
Good evening, and thank you for inviting me. It's always a pleasure.
All right. Of course, as you know, I'm with my colleague Austin Okona-Akman. At some point, we will probably be asking you questions as well. But Lofty, let's talk about the African teams. Are you surprised? Did you expect that at this point we'll probably at least 1 of 5 win a game? Are you surprised that of the 5 teams, I mean, 4 didn't even score, and the one that scored lost?
Well, I'm not surprised because, compared in terms of numerical numbers, compared to 2018, when all African teams lost their opening games, this year, African teams have collected 2 draws and 3 losses. But, in the content, especially for Senegal, Ghana in the second half, Tunisia and Morocco, the content was pretty. I would say good. I would say the content was good actually, because they did what we should do and what Asian team have done. In the sense that they didn't respect their opponent. They gave them a massive physical battle, and that's what you need. When you play bigger teams, because when you see the field of players, the fields of teams, sorry, Africans have played, they have played teams which are far superior, whether it's Morocco, who played Croatia, Tunisia, who played Denmark, Senegal, who played Netherlands, and yes, even Cameroon, they played Switzerland, who are regulars, and even Ghana, they played Portugal. So they played vastly superior teams, yet in the display itself, it wasn't all doom and gloom, except maybe Cameroon earlier this morning. Yeah, especially Cameroon this morning. So.
All right, Lofty. You've seen all the 5 teams. So which of the teams do you think, first, let me ask, which of the teams has impressed you? And then again, follow it up with which of the teams you think can still get to the next round?
Well, I would say nobody has impressed me globally. I would say no African team has impressed me globally, because it was more by flashes. But in the, I can say something which globally was impressive among African teams. I would say that the physical impact, which was given by, for instance, Morocco, Tunisia, and even Senegal against Netherlands, despite losing. I think the impact is what you need, to impress your opponent. And until the last minutes, for instance, Senegal, they lost, but until the last minutes, Netherlands couldn't find the key actually, and it was the same for Croatia. With more bravery, I think Morocco could have won, and Tunisia, with more efficiency in front of the net, they could have beaten Denmark. So I think the idea was there. Maybe a lack of creativity and the lack of bravery, I would say, costed maybe the more points for African teams. For Cameroon, I would say that I was massively disappointed by Cameroon, even if I'm not surprised, because honestly speaking, technically, they are for me the worst African team at the World Cup, and probably the worst team at the World Cup. They will even point or something like this. They can't put 2 or 3 passes together. So I think they are the main the disappointment in those 5 African teams which played, and obviously everything will be we'll have a view on the chances of African teams starting from tomorrow, as Senegal are facing Qatar, and all the teams are going to play their second game, God willing.
All right, before I let you go, Lofty, I mean, you've talked about all of them all round. Do you still see, is it possible with all these matches you've seen, and you've also talked about no team has impressed you globally, do you think we can surpass, talking about the continent now, that an African team can go past the quarterfinal in this tournament now that you've seen 5 of them?
I think it will be an exceptional and extraordinary World Cup if we get 2 teams in the round of 16, to be honest. Because let's not try to be faster than the cheetah, as we say, because there are massive difficulties. We have seen them in this first round, in this first batch of games from African teams, whether if it's in the build-up or in the creativity, and when you need to play the big guns that you will forcibly face when it comes, if you want to go to the quarters, you will massively need more quality in your teams, and that's why I think if we get 2 African teams in the round of 16, it would be an extraordinary World Cup for Africa, and we would equal our best results, which were in 2014 when Algeria, and Nigeria qualified both for the round of 16 for the first time ever. We had at that time 2 African teams in the round of 16. So I think if we have 1 team in the round of 16, it would be formidable. If we have 2 teams, it would be exceptional. And let's accept what God will write, inshallah. Because I said, minutes ago. I think the second games will give us a view on what we can expect more from African teams, because Tunisia are facing Australia, Morocco are facing Canada, I think Senegal are facing Qatar, and so those three teams who are those who put a good fight. Even Ghana, they are facing teams which are a degree less bigger than the first teams they faced, so they have a chance. And if they want to go to the next round, they must win those second games against less prestigious opponents.
All right, Lofty, well, I want to thank you for your time on the show tonight. Hopefully, we'll be able to do this again before the tournament ends.
The pleasure is mine. It's always a pleasure.
All right, that's France-based Tunisian journalist Lofty Wada giving us his analysis on the World Cup. All right, let me go back to my colleague Austin. Austin, technology, of course, didn't allow us to have a robust conversation. Of course, I know you would have wanted to say a team or two, but give us an update. I hear there's an update in the game between Brazil and Serbia. I think the Seleção have been able to get a goal.
Yeah, this Brazil 2, Serbia 0. I thought Serbia did so much in the first half to ensure it would stay goalless. But if you had watched that one, you could tell that Brazil was just having fun, and then in no time they were going to turn up the heat in the second half, and that's what they've done. The game is in its 81st minute, and it's Richarlison with a brace. Surprise, surprise. And his inclusion was questioned at some point. So most of the players that people question their inclusion in these Brazilian teams, I'm sure at this World Cup they will be out to prove a point. So Richarlison with the 2 goals for Brazil. So it's Brazil 2, Serbia 0 game in the 82nd minute now. Yeah, I mean, it's Brazil. Easy peasy. They will come out of that group.
Yeah, I mean, Tite just taught us another lesson. I mean, I'm part of those people who question Richarlison's inclusion. I was wondering why Gabriel Jesus didn't play, maybe even Martinelli or all those other guys. But I guess his work rate, his agility, and all those other things. And of course, Neymar probably won't put in the kind of shift Richarlison will put in terms of tracking back, marking, and all that. Yeah. You can't have two luxury players on the field at the same time, maybe. But again, that's why these coaches are paid to do this job. So it looks like it's going to be a win in the bag for Brazil.
Easy. I mean, it's going to be a clear win. And, just to, corroborate to some of the things you said about Richarlison, national team football is a different ball game entirely. And you could tell, particularly with the role Richarlison is playing with Brazil, is one that gives him an opportunity to express himself. And with the talent that you have around you, look, it's going to be very difficult not to impress. So people can go on and question what the coach is doing. It will definitely pay off because he knows the player. He knows where to use the player. And the player has nothing but just to, confirm and pay the coach for his loyalty and respect. So, for instance, look at Harry Maguire. A lot of persons were shocked with the way he turned up again for England in their first match. And Gareth Southgate said, look, I told you guys that this guy, I believe in him. When he wears the England jersey, he's a different player entirely. And that's what it is with this Brazilian side. I know Tite knows this team, and I'm sure, it's going to be a big upset not to have Brazil will make the top 4 at this competition.
All right. I agree with you. All right, let's talk about what's going to happen tomorrow. Let's quickly talk about what's going to happen tomorrow. Fixtures for tomorrow, right there on your screen. Friday's fixtures, Austin. Let me run through it. Then we'll talk about it. Wales and Iran, Qatar and Senegal, Netherlands and Ecuador, England and United States. Let me pick it up from the bottom, Austin. Gareth Southgate has informed everybody Harry Kane is fit and ready. There were worries that he probably wouldn't be able to, probably may not be able to play that next game. So for some reason, I just wanted us to start with that. How big of a boost is that for the Three Lions?
It is. That's the team right there. That's the team captain. That's their main motivation. He comes with a lot of dedication, commitment to the Three Lions, and just having Harry Kane in the team is huge motivation to the other guys. I love the fact that the young guys in the team prove the point in their opening game against Iran. And that will bring some sort of confidence as they get ready to take on the United States of America. And by the way, when you go on to win the way the Three Lions did in their first match, scoring goals, a lot of goals, it will motivate them to try and also be adventurous against the United States of America. I'm sure Gareth Southgate will try to, tweak it a bit. And he's got loads of options. In fact, the substitutes came in and they were having fun right away. Marcus Rashford got into the game, picked a goal. Jack Grealish, same thing. Callum Wilson came in and, did his part also. So, when you've got options, all you need to do as a coach is to find a way to, let that option work for you. And that's why if you take a look at what happened with Ghana today, you'll be wondering what's going on, particularly with some of the substitutions that Coach Ado did. So with the Three Lions, the mood in the United Kingdom is calm. They love the way the opening game went, and so they are hoping that they will go on, and sustain the momentum against the United States of America. The United States of America also did put up a good show against Wales. So we're going to have a good game of football, but the bookmakers, the pundits, those guys, the punters, the guys who put money into football, they've given this one easily to England,
Okay. All right. All right. We need to go on a break. The fans are already saying he's coming home. I don't know. He didn't come home the last time. Let's take a quick time out. We'll be back for more Sports Tonight. All right. Austin laughed when I said they're already saying he's coming back home. I don't know if that's the way they feel. All right. Let me just go back to Austin. Austin, let's talk a little about.
Yeah.
I know you could go on and on, about England, but we're Africans. So let's talk about Senegal. And Lofty's assessment was brutal. It says the continent should even. Count ourselves lucky if we have two in the round of 16. Not to even talk about us surpassing. But I still think, apart from those mistakes in the last 10 minutes, Senegal did well against Holland. And I'm not a gambling person. If I can put my money on anybody going through to the round of 16, I'll still say Senegal. I don't know about you.
No, I won't say Senegal. I won't say Senegal because they are damaged mentally. That injury to Sadio Mane, unfortunately, the media will not stop the mentions until Senegal is out of this World Cup. And that, in a way, is affecting the Senegalese team because Mane is the heart of that team. That's their inspiration. It comes with so much mention, so much respect, so much charisma, and he's missing. So whenever the Teranga Lions are finding out, that's what football analysts will be talking about. Sadio Mane should have been leading this team. You hear, Sadio Mane finished second in the Ballon d'Or. He's Africa's best player. He's missing. What can Senegal do without this guy? But that's the major challenge for the Senegalese team. They need to pick themselves back up. And I think they can do that against Ecuador. Ecuador has the momentum at the moment because of what they did in their first game against Qatar. But if Senegal can just believe that we just need to beat Ecuador maybe 1-0, and beat the host Qatar were in the round of 16. That's what they need to do. They need to forget about Mane and know that the World Cup is a big, big assignment, one that can actually let us start talking about these other players. So because I know that the Teranga Lions are damaged psychologically, it's difficult for me to believe in them. But I've been so proud of what the North Africans did. Morocco and Tunisia, and I thought Lotfi was just trying to, go away from that. If you take a look at the stats that Tunisia had against Denmark, if you look at the players that we have in that Danish team, nobody would have given Tunisia a chance. And they held their own. The possession was 60 to Denmark and 40 to Tunisia. And they created chances for themselves. They even created more counter-attacking moves than Denmark. So it means they were not just finishing. So imagine if they could finish, Tunisia would have won that game. And Morocco came out to play Croatia with so much discipline. That's what you need to do to your opponent. Don't show them any form of respect. We are equal. We all want to get the same thing. That was what Saudi Arabia did to Argentina. That was what Japan did to Germany. And to an extent, that was what Morocco also did, but they were just a bit unfortunate not to come out with that win. Their next match is against Canada. They can just go all out, do what they need to do. If you win that one in your final game, just give it everything. They will be given a different analysis. So we've seen the 5 African teams play their opening matches, and we now know their strengths and weaknesses. They need to just correct the mistakes that we've seen in the first game in the second.
All right, let's quickly listen to Senegal captain Kalidou Koulibaly. We'll come back to wrap things up on the show. Let's quickly listen to Teranga Lions captain Kalidou Koulibaly speaking ahead of their next game. We'll come back to wrap things up on the show.
He's like Sadio is with us today because he's always texting with us, he's always calling, always keeping the mentality high for the team. He's an important player for us, even if he's not with us today in Qatar. He's speaking with all the players, and this is really important for us. And we know the importance that he has for the team. But this is the good spirit, the good mentality, because we need it, and we hope that. He will continue to be behind us because he is an important player, and when he speaks, I think all the team and all the Senegal are listening. So he have to keep on continue, and I'm speaking every day with him. So for this, I'm really happy.
All right, so that's it. We'll listen to Teranga Lions captain right there. Austin, we got to go. Final situation update, Brazil and Serbia?
Yeah, still 2-0. That game in the final minutes now, we're playing additional time, so Brazil can easily get on to win that one.
Right.
But let me just set the record straight. I said it was going to be Senegal, Ecuador. No, it's Senegal, Qatar. You know, and Yemi again, you heard Koulibaly. Did Mane not come up again? They've lost the first game,
okay.
And Mane is still getting those mentions.
Right.
That's what I told you. And if they don't move beyond Mane being absent at this World Cup, they're only going to hurt themselves.
We got to go.
Gotta go. Thank you so much. That's the show. In London, I'm Austin Okonakman. In everything you do, remember, let's keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right. That's the show today. We do hope you've enjoyed everything we've been able to do. We'll do this again tomorrow. I'm Adebayo. Bye-bye now.